everybody! Welcome to episode 14 of Why Would You Show Me This? I am Will.
And I'm Dani.
And it is Dani's pick this week. She picked The Hole, not the one from 1960s or the one from the 2010s. We're talking about The Hole 2001.
Yes.
Starring Keira Knightley, Thor Birch, and Desmond Harrington. And also a British guy, two British men that are not on the front.
Yes.
But they play a big part in the story.
Okay.
This is a special buy just for this episode. We went out to Zia's. Shout out to Zia's. They're a cool record store in Arizona. And we found this.
Yep. So I should read the back.
Begin.
Alright. Okay. This suspenseful psychological thriller features hot young stars Keira Knightley, and Thora Birch, and a hip, edgy cast as exclamation point. Oh, I love this. When Liz Dunn and three of her prep school friends decide to bail on their scheduled weekend field trip and hide in a long-abandoned bomb shelter, they expect to party and hang out. They don't expect someone to lock them in. As anxious hours turn into desperate days, fear and insecurity erupt uncontrollably as their spontaneous adventure turns into a bloody fight for survival. So, yeah.
All right. Bloody fight for survival. I wouldn't say it was a bloody fight.
It really wasn't.
There was one part where it was a bloody fight, but that was very...
It was eh.
Yeah. The fight or the movie?
Both.
Both. I mean, the movie was better than I thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm. You expected worse?
I did.
Oh,
no,
God.
I expected, like, bottom of the barrel, like, horrible... Yeah. I mean, but that's the thing, like, everybody that's in the movie is a good actor. They've been in plenty of good things. Mm-hmm. They've shown their talent. This seems to be in the beginning of some people's careers, the beginning of Keira Knightley's career. Thora Birch, shit, I mean, she was acting when she was a kid, so she knew the ropes. Excuse me. Knew the ropes at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Desmond Harrington, I don't know how much he had been in before this.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. It was
a movie.
It was a movie. It's as the back says, I don't know if it says it in the thing, it's a psychological thriller.
That's what it says here.
That's
exactly what it says.
Yeah.
Like an engaging psychological thriller.
Psychological thriller. That is perfect. That's what it is. It's engaging. It has some twists and turns that you may or may not see coming. I don't think they hit it that well, but they kind of set up some divergent pathways that you could go with the story in the beginning.
Sure. Yeah.
We quickly realize that we have an unreliable narrator.
Yes.
In Thora Birch's character.
Yes.
We get a few different. We actually get two sides of the story at first.
Mm-hmm. From
her friend, who they think helped set all this up, and from her, who at the beginning of the movie, she is, we see her running hysterically to a phone, and she's like, help! So in the beginning of the movie, we come to her as a victim.
Right.
So for most of the movie, she is a victim.
Yes. And you think she survived something terrible and awful, because she's...
Yes. Technically, she did.
She's got blood on her and stuff like that, so...
Yeah. Quickly, we learn that, well, not quickly. It's not quickly. It's about halfway through the movie, we start to see what the real things are. Yeah. And what we've been lied to as.
Lied to as?
Lied to as. Yeah, I mean, no, it's a passable movie. It's interesting. It may not be completely original. You may see where it's going. Mm-hmm. But there's a few aspects of it that I liked. I definitely... It keeps throwing you for a loop. It keeps, you think it's one thing, then you think it's this thing, and characters change. You don't know who they really are. Mm-hmm. So I like that about it. It just it wasn't like it's not an amazing movie.
No, it's
not at all.
No.
But it's an entertaining movie. It's if you find it on a television, just watch it. You'll have a good time. I think that's true. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's dumb. I think it's fairly smart,
right,
in the way it goes about things.
Do you think that it thinks it's smarter than it is, though? A little bit?
if if the filmmakers really, because I think at a certain point you see what's coming.
Right.
At a certain point I remember I was like, okay, so they're working together, right? And that turns out to be the truth. You know. Anybody, I don't think we have to say spoilers on this podcast. You guys know that we're going to talk about the whole movie, so if you haven't watched it, watch it before you listen to anything.
If you spoiled this, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sorry we spoiled the whole.
Yes.
For you.
The whole. Also, this is a 20-year-old movie, so I think 20 years is kind of, it's not spoilers. Yeah. I don't think that it was thought it was too smart. I think that it wanted to be a smart thriller, and it passes. It's like a B minus.
I feel like this movie came out a lot during the times of these types of movies coming out, where it's like groups of students.
Yes.
Like what's the other one? Like Skull and Bones.
Skull and Bones.
Which is one I wanted to pick, but I think you've seen that. Is
it Skull and Bones, or is it The Skulls with the dude from Dawson's Creek?
Yeah, we're talking about the same thing.
Okay, it's called The Skulls, I believe. Yeah. Or, something like that. You guys, Skull and Bone Club? Is that... Society? Something?
Oh
I don't know. Obviously, it wasn't that memorable.
You know what we're talking about.
Yes, though. Yes. If you are our age, if you lived through the early noughts, then...
the Dawson's Rivers kids.
Oh, did I say that?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Okay. I know the name of that show. No. But there's this... It also reminded me of that movie, The Curve.
Yes.
I believe... Is Desmond Harrington also in The Curve? I want to say that he is.
Maybe.
I may be confusing him with someone else. I know Matthew Lillard was in The Curve.
You can definitely see how much research we do before we film the discussion.
No, like I said before on another episode, sometimes we do, but this one we watched it, we came right in here, so there's no time. I had to set up lighting and everything, and yes, a lot of these movies came out around that time in the early 2000s. It's so funny how now that we're 20 years on, it's such a, I think it's a time capsule. That just happens all the time. Every time you get about 15, 20 years. Yeah, there's a certain feel.
Certain feel to it.
Yeah. Everything was shot the same way. It's just like teens in peril.
Yes. And students and them turning on each other sometimes. And there's always the pretty girl that everybody wants to have sex with.
Yes. Lots of tropes checked off.
Yeah, exactly.
In most of these movies that came out around this time. I don't know. So you had seen this before.
Yes.
But you hadn't seen it in a while.
Yeah. And shout out to my friend Zara for suggesting this. I had honestly forgotten about this movie, because it kind of blended together with a lot of these movies that you saw during this time, you know what I mean? So, and I remembered, a couple of snippets from it in my brain. As soon as she mentioned it, I was like, oh yeah, I think I know that movie. And I remember it being kind of oh god, and kind of, oh, it's pretty good.
When you first watched it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I thought maybe it would fit. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I also thought, I'm like, well, he also might think that this is going to be some dumb, teen thriller, which it is. So
that's exactly what this is.
But I'm glad that it isn't as bad as you thought it was going to be.
No. I mean, can I see the case? Yeah. So Dani showed this at the front, but I want to say, so before we watch this movie, I looked at this, if I can get a good shot of it, and I said, because it has her, and then you turn it around, and it has Thora Birch. Yeah. It's just, it's Keira Knightley's face on the front, Thora Birch's face on the back. That's all this cover art is. And I said, so this is either very, very, very smart cover art, maybe they're the same person, maybe she's a figment of her imagination. No. This is just Keira Knightley, I guess, was hot at the time, and they fucking put her face, and her name is on here twice. They were trying to sell the shit out of this. Keira Knightley isn't even the main character.
No, she's not.
I love when studios do shit like this. They just try to push it hard while she's super popular. They probably put this out on DVD when Domino came out.
Also, I want to say, I don't care what anybody says at this point. I don't like the fact that they say the psychological thriller features hot young stars. They're supposed to be high school students.
Yes.
Okay? It's not appropriate. And you could say that, that I'm a prude or whatever, but I'm sorry, it's not appropriate. And I don't care if the actresses are of age, or over the age, which they probably are, because...
actually not. We'll have to get into that little
oh,
tidbit
right,
that I found out, actually.
Oh, I forgot. But it's not appropriate. It's just not. It's gross.
Yeah.
It's gross. Speaking as a woman and speaking as, someone who was a high schooler at one point. I
think we all were.
I know, but I'm saying, but high school girls get sexualized a lot. And it's like, and it seems to be a totally normal, okay thing to do. And if it isn't.
No. And
I just want to say that. I don't think that's appropriate. I think it's really gross to say that kind of stuff, because it's just, again, they're portraying high school students, and if it were a teen comedy, even then I don't know, but it's not the tone of this movie. Okay, it's just not, and I think that it's just weird. I don't like it.
I think that as long as your actors are of age, it's okay for them to be, because teenagers do these things. Teenagers have sex. Yes. Teenagers do drugs. Yes. Teenagers drink. Yes. It happens. Teenagers, you're on the cusp of being an adult. You do the things that adults do.
Right.
It happens. But in movies, I think that as long as your actors of age, it's fine.
So, speaking of
that, I'll get into something after that. But speaking of that, tidbit, Keira Knightley is naked in this movie.
She's not naked. She's topless.
She's topless. I don't know if that's her body on the autopsy table or not.
Oh, I'm not sure.
I couldn't tell if that was a fake body or not. But and also apparently she was 15 at the time of filming, which is kind of
iffy.
Yeah. I mean, I know of that before. There's movies like even Thora Birch in American Beauty. She was 17 at the time that they made that movie, and she went topless in that movie as well.
As far as I know, Thora Birch, she had permission from her parents.
Well, obviously.
Okay.
Yes.
And I would honestly hope that the same thing happened with Keira Knightley on this.
They have to. Yeah. I would assume, unless this was filmed in the UK. And they have some different. I don't think they'll say on the back where they filmed it.
But it might.
But they might have different laws. But here, I believe that you do have to get the written confirmation from the parents before anything like that can happen.
Yeah. But knowing that and then seeing that scene makes it a little weird.
That she was 15 years old at that point in time.
Granted, she flashes.
Yeah,
for
it's
a
a very innocent, just like.
And it's not prolonged or anything like that. And I'm not trying to stick up for it. I don't feel super comfortable with it.
No, and also because it comes right after where she is almost kind of raped.
Yeah.
It was very forceful what was going on in the scene, so that was a whole nother thing. There's also a lot of heavy crotch petting.
Yeah, there's lots of pants.
Movie.
There is a lot of pants rubbing. There is
so much pant rubbing.
So much dry humping in this.
It's true to teenagers, I guess.
It is. I appreciate that.
But it got a little awkward because I think it's just like knowing Keira Knightley's age. Thora Birch, this was 2001. She was young too. I mean, I think American Beauty was 2000, 99.
Only you
like
would know because you have that weird
ability
to know.
It's somewhere in that time period between 98 and 2000.
Right.
Somewhere in there.
Right.
So she was, if anything, she was 18.
Yeah.
Still young. Desmond Harrington, I don't know how the fuck old he is. I mean, in this movie he looks really young. He can pass for a high schooler, but then a few years later he's in Dexter and he looks much older.
So much older, aged 10 years.
The power of makeup and costuming and hair.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't know. I don't know what else to say about it. I mean, I liked it, but it's not like a movie that has the movie. Okay, this is the thing that pissed me off the most about the movie. It is called The Hole.
Yes. Oh.
It refers to the location that they are.
Yeah, the bomb shelter.
Yes, but in the middle of the bomb shelter, there is a hole that throughout the movie they sit at, and they have their legs dangle and everything. And this hole is located in the middle of the room, and right next to the hole is the ladder where you get in and out of the bomb shelter.
Like, if you were to fall off, like, back off from this ladder, you would fall into the hole.
No, you wouldn't. Apparently not. Because at the end of the film, there is a character that is climbing the ladder, and the ladder, they've shown that the ladder has loose bolts a few times throughout the movies.
Yeah, throughout the movie.
You know, a little foreshadowing. And he falls back. And he does not fall in the hole.
Nope.
No, instead he falls back, and the ladder clacks him in the chest, and he dies that way.
Yeah, it clacks him actually, like, right here in the rib cage.
Somewhat, whatever.
Like, the lungs or whatever, and, like...
It hits him, and he dies, and he does not fall in the hole. The movie could have... Oh, my God. Like, they really... Why didn't that happen?
I mean, we were basically waiting the whole time
exactly.
for someone to go in the hole.
Every time they showed the hole, it was like, okay, somebody's going in the hole, right? I mean, the movie's called The Hole. And then nothing. And I don't know if maybe that was intentional. Maybe the director was like, nah, fuck, you ain't getting the hole. I want to name my movie this, but you ain't getting it. It's not happening. Because, I mean, the movie, it doesn't have a good ending. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. A little fucking with the audience there.
Do you wish that it would have had a different ending?
I mean... I actually thought, okay, so I did think after that guy didn't go in the hole, there was another scene after that where another person could have went in the hole. Then it didn't happen either. I kind of wish that would have happened, because then it would have pushed the character into so crazy that she doesn't even, because there is a line in the movie where she says, have you ever loved someone so much you don't care what happens to you? Mm-hmm. And so basically throughout the whole movie, Thora Birch is trying to get with this guy that she likes. And that's why she does all the horrible shit that she does in the movie, because of him. And I would have thought that she was so crazy that she would have pushed the second person into the hole. Mm-hmm. And then the cops would have come and saw that she did that, and it would have ended with her being arrested. Right. Like, that's kind of what I had in my brain.
Same, yeah.
But instead, she was just even more, like, conniving, and she got out of it. Mm-hmm. So I think either one works for this movie. I mean, it's, you know, whatever. I don't know. I enjoyed it, and it was good.
Although I do remember you saying during this. Yeah. You said if this was all for her just to get with this guy, this is the dumbest thing ever.
Yes. No. Yeah. Because, like, I don't know. The whole movie was because she, like, fell head over fucking heels for this dude.
Yes.
And she didn't even know him. And I mean, that just goes to show how crazy she was. Mm-hmm. But it's, I don't know. I mean, it makes sense. They're teenagers. I could see that happening.
Well, here's the truth. She had a plan, and the plan went, you know, basically horribly wrong. And I think along the way she kind of lost her mind a little bit.
Sure, yeah. Or she was just willing to go that far to get what she wanted.
Well, and also, she has a key to get out the entire time.
Yes.
It locks from the inside, not the outside. She has the only key.
Which we don't find out until later on in the movie.
And she hides it in her shoe, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, like, Keira Knightley gets sick at one point. I don't remember what from.
I had a sneaking suspicion that she was poisoned by her, because earlier in the night we find out that she had sex with the guy that she likes a year or so ago.
Yeah, I mean, so that came up. But they were already in the hole by that time when they found that out. So I don't know.
But I would think her being like that, if she hears that, she's like, well, fuck you, you're gonna die, he's mine.
I don't think so. I don't think she was that conniving. I don't think she plotted that far ahead. I think her whole idea was just to spend as much time with him down there as she possibly could.
No, I understand, but I think once that information was, you know, she found that out, that could have been time for her to do something.
I don't know. I feel like if she were poisoned, they would have shown that at some point.
Yeah. Truthfully, I mean, she did not... Well, she does intentionally kill someone. But yeah, the other people, she doesn't intentionally kill. At least the movie doesn't 100% tell you that, at least.
So yeah, so Keira Knightley gets sick.
Yeah.
Starts throwing up a bunch. To which point she still doesn't let them out.
No, because she hasn't gotten to have sex with Mike yet.
No. And the next day, Keira Knightley is dead.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But which though, I mean, we don't know if that's her fault or not. It's never specifically said, but there is a scene where she is throwing up, and she is sitting right next to Keira Knightley, not even giving a shit that she's throwing up, just talking about how, because she interrupted them making out and rubbing each other. So, all she wanted to do was talk about how happy she was about that.
Yes. So yeah, obviously the plan has gone horribly wrong because Keira Knightley is now dead. Which is funny because I'm just like, I don't know why at that point you wouldn't just let everyone out. I mean, it's time to go.
Yeah.
But at that point, she just doubles down.
Yes.
And she's like, no.
Well,
she does down here.
She does try to tell someone, but then some shit happens, and some bad shit happens, and that stops her from telling at that point in time. Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Do you think you could write a better ending?
Oh, I'm not gonna say one way or another. I mean, it's the ending for this movie fits.
Were you disappointed by the fact though that you called it? Like you could call what was happening?
No, because I kind of thought that I was going to be able to. I mean, as the movie went on, like you kind of start to piece things together. Especially a movie like this when it's trying deliberately to mess with you and get you to believe one thing, and then it's going to turn around and do the other. So I kind of think about that already. Like as soon as we went to the change, like as soon as she changed and was all happy in that one scene, after they first pick her up and she's like, she's super like still crazy anxious about everything, and she can't really give them straight answers. And then right after that, the next time she talks to the therapist woman, she is just happy and great, and she tells her this whole thing that didn't happen whatsoever. So as soon as I knew about the unreliable narrator, I was like, okay, so everything that I think is going to happen, I should kind of 180 that and think about the way that they would be able to not do the first thing you think of.
Right.
Which is good. I mean, that's the thing, is that scripts like that, stories like that, at this point, there's been so many, I mean, we've been telling stories for millennia. I don't know how long we've been telling stories at this point. But movies, let's just look at movies. They've been around for over 100 years now. Yeah, probably a little bit under 200 years. And we've seen this movie. We watched the movie where what we think is going to happen doesn't happen, and we're wowed by something else. But at this point, like, we already have thought about the first, second, and third. So you kind of got to like go around all those expectations and try to think of something else that's going to surprise someone.
Right.
So I don't fault this movie for me. I mean, that's the thing. Some people figure some stuff out. Some people don't. It's just how it is. So, I mean, that's just me. I'm just like, okay, it's probably going to be something other than what I think is going to happen. So, yeah, just think about the other things that are going to happen with what's going on in the story.
I was really hoping that it was going to be different than what I thought.
Yeah, I mean, so are you disappointed in your rewatch?
No, I don't think so.
No?
I just wish it could have been just a little bit smarter.
Okay, so you thought it wasn't that smart.
No.
Okay. Do you have an ending that you think would have been better?
Not one that I can come up with, but...
No, nothing straight out off the top of your head?
No, I do kind of wish it would have just been her, like, going completely crazy and killing all three.
I did have that thought, too. I was like, I would like that.
Right?
If she just killed everybody.
Right?
My first thought was, she's lying. She has a friend who also hates, like, preppy people, and he's kind of like the outsider, just like she is. They came together and made this plan to kill all of these, like,
that's what I thought
popular
too.
preppy people.
I thought that at first.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be the end.
Yeah.
But then, no, it's something different.
I think that would have been better. than
I
what
mean,
it
maybe.
actually ended up being.
Maybe. The one thing I do have one problem with. So she disposes of her partner, near the end of the movie.
Yes.
I don't think that would have happened. I don't think that she could have done that.
Okay.
And he would have been dead. He would have been injured.
You don't think she could have surprised him?
I
mean, he was kind of like, he was crying at that point and kind of emotional, so I think maybe
But
she could.
all she did was push him in, right?
Yeah, but she pushed him in where those like weird turbines are or whatever.
Yes.
You know, I think it's I don't know if it's a water treatment
Facility
or something, but they're on a catwalk above what looks like a kind of like a dam, like a small one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's hard. I don't know. Anyway,
it's apparently in her backyard because he comes to her house and fucking chases her out of the house, and that's where they go.
But there's some sort of machinery that's in the water or something, so there's something there. But yeah, I believe that she pushed him into that,
yes,
and that made him drown.
I don't believe he would have drowned in that. When they show the wide shot, when they find his body, it doesn't look. He had to have not been able to swim to have drowned in that. It looked like to me.
Maybe he couldn't. I don't know.
Maybe he was really good with computers, just not swimming.
Yeah, it was that stereotype.
Oh yeah, and he also loved her, but she did not love him back. That whole thing. A lot of like I said earlier, a lot of tropes checked.
Yeah. And she kind of, she didn't kind of throw him under the bus. She did throw him under the bus.
Oh, right away. Which leads me to believe that it was pretty much everything was kind of premeditated.
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised if it
she
wasn't.
knew that she was going to, if anything bad happened, she had a patsy.
Yeah. She had someone dependent on, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, when they find his body, they find that she planted the key on him before which is hilarious because I'm like, how in the hell would she know that the key would even stay
in his pocket?
Like he's been in water. You know what I mean? So I would figure it would come out or something.
Would you say that there's some holes in the story?
Yeah, sure. For your sake, that's what I'll say.
Make my joke work, god damn it.
You're an idiot.
I know. I'm not angry at this movie.
No.
Not at all. It's fine. It's entertaining. Like, I mean, that's the thing. I don't know if we've gotten into this on any other podcast, but people need to be okay with movies being okay.
Yeah.
I mean, and not every movie can change your life.
No.
Just if a movie's okay, that's fine. I mean, a lot of the movies that I love from a kid could be seen by other people and probably, that's an okay movie. Like, yeah, it is, and like that's okay. It's okay to like an okay movie.
I like Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
People don't like that movie.
Super Mario Brothers is a fun movie to watch.
It is.
Movies that are just okay are fun to watch. I love when a movie fucking just blows my mind and I can't stop thinking about it or talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a wonderful feeling, but you can't feel that all the time.
No.
It can't be every single movie that you watch.
No.
It just can't be every movie. And I would like to get back to us just being okay with okay movies.
It's okay to be okay.
It's okay.
Okay movies.
Yes. We should put that on a shirt.
Okay.
That'll be the first podcast shirt we'll do. If I can come up with something cool, I'll make it.
Okay. Sounds good.
Anything else? Or should we get to the rating?
No, I think we should rate it.
Rate it? Okay.
Yeah.
I would give it a solid half. 5 out of 5.
Okay.
5 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was entertaining. Yeah.
It doesn't suck.
It doesn't suck. It rides the line.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
It really does. That's true.
What would be your score now?
Like a 6, probably.
A little bit more, yeah.
Just a little bit.
But, wait, you give it a 6, but I don't think the movie's dumb and you thought that it was dumb. Or at least the ending was dumb.
The ending was dumb. The ending was predictable, and I hate that.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of, like, The Good Son.
Yeah.
With Macaulay Culkin.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure he gets away with it at the end.
No, he
doesn't. Oh no, he gets pushed off a fucking cliff.
Well, he doesn't get pushed. the mother is holding both of the sons.
Oh, yes.
Remember? And she has to let go of one of them to save the other.
Let go of the evil one. I want to rewatch that movie now. That's a great movie. Well, no, not like that movie at all then.
No.
It's kind of like The Omen. There you go.
Sure.
It's got Omen feels to it. She's very Damien-y, just grown up and female.
And she's just like, I know I'm manipulative and I'm okay with it.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Well, thank you. Hey, I like when you bring on a movie I don't hate.
Yeah. I like that too when that happens.
Speaking of.
Yeah.
You like him though.
Yes, I do.
You like Toxie.
I do like Toxie.
I just showed a Toxie cooler for anybody just listening. Toxie koozie.
Oh, yes,
Toxie koozie.
I forget.
Yes.
Not everybody can see us.
No, just some people just listen, like we've talked about a lot.
Yes.
So I'm gonna talk with you about this now. I haven't thought about it. I want to do like a live stream watch along soon. And this is episode 14. So maybe with the celebration of 15 episodes, we'll have our regular episode. Then we'll also do a watch along on the YouTube channel. So anybody that's watching or anybody that's just listening to this, go to youtube.com/Will Krupinski. Subscribe to the channel, and you will get notified when we do the live stream, which hopefully maybe next week.
Yeah.
Next week? Okay, we'll do it next week. This one, I'm having thoughts about either putting up a poll of maybe some movies that we have not seen, but we've been maybe wanting to see. And then maybe everybody can vote on that, or...
I don't know if I trust people to vote. People who voted picked Poultrygeist. So.
Well, I'll make sure nothing like Poultrygeist is in the poll.
Okay.
But yeah, so we'll do that, and that is going to be awesome. That's going to be fun. So basically, we'll just kind of announce what movie it's going to be after whatever way we figure it out. Excuse me. Every way we figure it out. And then, let you know where you can go watch it. Hopefully, maybe we'll pick one that kind of free on Tubi or something like that.
That'd be good.
And then we'll all watch together, and then we'll talk about it and stuff.
That sounds good.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, well, thank you guys for listening. Thank you for everybody who's continued to listen and or watch. We love you guys. It's so awesome to hear everybody talk about the show and give your opinions on about the movies that we watch. I very much enjoy reading everybody's opinions in the comments of the YouTube videos. So thank you, and we will see you next week on the live stream.
Yep.
All right. Bye.
Bye.